Welcome back, foodie friends. So today we are going to be making one of my all-time favorite fall desserts. This is my apple cranberry crisp. So let's get saucy. Hey foodie friends, so to start off, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my crumble or crisp topping. So I have my stand mixer here, and to that we're just going to put in all of our ingredients for the crumble. All right, foodie friends, so for our crumble topping, I have my stand mixer. I already have in here 2 sticks of cold butter that's been cubed, and to that I'm just going to add 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Now you could definitely swap this out for like a gluten-free all-purpose flour substitute, and you can definitely sub out the butter for a vegan butter too if you want to do that. We're also going to add in 1 cup of oatmeal, rolled oats, and then 3/4 of a cup each of brown sugar and white sugar. And finally, I always use unsalted butter, so I'm going to give a nice pinch of salt in here just to help round out all the flavors. We're just going to pop this down and we're going to give it a nice mix until we have like pea-sized kind of crumbly bits that we're going to sprinkle over top of our apple mixture. Alright guys, and that looks great. Look, you can see the beautiful texture in there. We've got some big bits, some small bits, and we can kind of break this up as we put it on top of our apple crumble and bake it off. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to pop it in the fridge while I prep my apples, just so it doesn't get too warm and that butter doesn't melt. If your apples are already prepped, I like to do this first just so my apples don't brown too much, and this can go right on top as soon as it's ready to bake. But if you've already prepped up your apples, you can just throw this right on top and bake it off. Okay, so the crumble is finished. We're going to set that aside, and now I'm going to go ahead and peel and dice my apples. So I'm using Granny Smith apples. You can use whatever kind you like. I prefer the tartness of the Granny Smith, but if you prefer Fuji or Macintosh or Honeycrisp, you can definitely do whatever. I'm also using a combination of dried cranberries and these canned whole cranberries. So I'm gonna rinse the jelly off of these because I don't want all that high fructose corn syrup and stuff in there. I typically use fresh cranberries for this recipe, but it's a little early, so I couldn't get any right now, but these are gonna work just great. So the combination of those will be great. So let's get our apples finished up and prepped, and we will move on with the baking. All right, so just finish peeling up our apples here. Now we're just going to cut these off of the core, and then we're going to cut them into a kind of a fine dice, like maybe more of a medium dice, and get those all in a bowl. So this was 3 pounds, a 3-pound bag of Granny Smith apples, like I said, and again, whatever apples you like. You can definitely use a sweeter apple, but I like the tartness of the Granny Smith for this, for my apple crisp. All right, so to my apples, I'm going to add the zest and juice of 2 lemons. As always, when you're zesting your lemons, you just want to get the yellow off. You don't want any of that white pith because that's really bitter. So just lightly get the real yellow off. That's got all those nice oils in there. Is going to make an amazing lemon flavor for you. Okay, so foodie friends, to finish up our filling here, we're going to add in 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour plus 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Now, you could just use cornstarch for this again if you need a gluten-free option, or just use your gluten-free all-purpose flour substitute. If you're just using cornstarch, I'd say do like 3 or 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. 4 tablespoons would be a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, so that goes in here. Then I have my 1 cup of dried cranberries, and again, like I said, I had that can of whole cranberry sauce. So I rinsed all that gelée off because I didn't want all that extra sugar and stuff in here, and I'm just going to pop those in along with, again, another pinch of salt just to even out all those flavors. And I've got a little bit of nutmeg and some cinnamon. Of course, a lot of cinnamon goes in there. So just give that a good stir, get everything well mixed together. Those cinnamon and nutmeg smells so good already. It's just like fall just invaded my house. I'm so excited. I love this dessert, you guys. Look, pumpkin and sweet potato pies, you know, pecan pies, those are definitely fall things. But for me, cranberries. Cranberries are fall. It's just something I've always enjoyed. They're so delicious. The tart little bite you get from them, and mixing them in with these apples and this crumble just makes it so delicious. So now that we've got this nice and mixed together, we are going to go ahead and pop this in a baking dish. This is a 9x13 cast iron, whatever baking dish you have. It doesn't have to be cast iron, just a 9x13 pan. Get those in there. I've already got my oven preheated at 350 degrees, so that is ready and waiting for me. And just get all of these in here in a nice even layer. That looks so beautiful, and it smells, you guys, I'm telling you, that lemon zest and lemon juice. All right, so that's in there. And now we're just gonna cover this with our crumble topping. So I'm just gonna throw it in here, spread it out. I like a lot of this. Obviously, it's gonna cover the whole thing. It's gonna make a nice layer of this crumble on there. It's so delicious. If you did end up with a little bit too much, this saves wonderfully for a few days, maybe even up to like a week. So you could use this on another recipe, or you could freeze it and save it for even longer. So, but I like a good ratio of the crumble to the filling. All right, so that's all set, foodie friends. Now this is going in our oven at 350, and this is going to bake for about 45 minutes to an hour until it's nice and bubbly and the top is all golden brown. And then we will come back and give it a taste. We're gonna pop some vanilla ice cream on top, obviously. You know, it'd be great with just some whipped cream if you wanted, but I love to do ice cream with it. It'd be amazing with like a salted caramel ice cream. I've served it at a restaurant before with an eggnog ice cream. Oh, so good to die for. So anyway, guys, in the oven, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, foodie friends. So here is my beautiful apple crisp. Came out of the oven about 10 minutes ago. I just let it cool a little bit. So now let's go ahead and get some of this. It's still gonna be quite hot, so be careful with this. Oh, look at that. It falls out there, but can you see that? How amazing that looks. Ooh, all over my holder. All right, so just kind of scoop under so that the crumble stays on top. And then, like I said, I'm going to add a scoop of vanilla ice cream to it. So just get a nice scoop of vanilla ice cream right on top of there. And there it is. Look, I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of that. It's still hot. So let me get a little taste. It smells so good, you guys. The kitchen just smelled amazing the entire time this was baking. Absolutely delicious. The apples are soft. Cranberries are tart. The crunchy sweet crumble topping is absolutely delicious. The vanilla ice cream, of course. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for joining me here on Getting Saucy with Chef Lynn. You're gonna wanna make this recipe, so let me know in the comments if you do. There will be a link to the full written recipe in the description box as always. Follow me across all social media at Chef Lynn Wheeler, and my website is cheflynnwheeler.com. And if you like this, check out my dessert playlist right over here. See you guys later.